Welcome to Fuel the Release. For this MK challenge, grab the gas and head on over to the generator. Once the gas is in the generator, flip the electrical panels and make sure to hit all your skill checks. Fuck! Looks like we're here again. Oh well, hello everyone, and welcome back. And in today's video, I just wanted to talk about something that I had brought up last year in my video Dead by Daylight X Outlast, what we could expect from a Dead by Daylight chapter. Well, I wanted to talk about that again, but a little bit different this time, as in my original video, I mostly talk about Dead by Daylight X Outlast, but mostly kept it contained to the first two Outlast games, but this time, I wanted to only focus on Dead by Daylight X The Outlast Trials. Because a year has passed since that video's released, the Outlast Trials has received so much new content, like new X-Pops, prime assets, trial environments, and also in that time, I've become something of a little unrenowned goat, but I'm also in the Dead by Daylight content creator program, so I figured it's time that I finally pay my dues and talk about Dead by Daylight since it has been a minute. And it also looks like Dead by Daylight is finally heading back on track after fumble after fumble. It also allows me to talk about my beloved Outlast Trials. As most of you probably know, it is my favorite game of all time, as before I became an unrenowned goat of the Outlast Trials, I would play Dead by Daylight just a little bit. But anyways, before we start, if you guys would subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that, as we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. I could have never expected reaching this number. The support from you guys is genuinely so amazing, and I thank you all so much. So, to celebrate the milestone, I'll be doing a Q&A to answer some of your guys' burning questions. So with that being said, allow me to set the mood.
Son, what you doing? Time to go home.
Now, before we go over all of the content that we could expect from a collaboration with Dead by Daylight and the Outlast Trials, I wanted to rehash how likely this collaboration is to happen in the first place. Like I said in my first video, Behavior, the creators of Dead by Daylight, and Red Barrels, the goated creators behind the Outlast franchise, are both located within the same city, that being Montreal, Quebec, in my good old home country of Canada. And next month also happens to be the 10-year anniversary of Dead by Daylight, where they're going to be hosting a giant party in Montreal that me and my amazing girlfriend will be attending on June 14th. And while we were checking out the location of the anniversary party, scouting out areas that we could check out together after the event, we noticed that the party is going to be taking place right across the street from Red Barrels, the very place where the very popular and beloved Outlast franchise was born. Outlast has proven to be one of the most popular horror gaming franchises of all time. Releasing in 2013, it quickly became one of the most iconic horror games with its iconic night vision mechanic, alongside the extremely iconic Chris Walker, Eddie Gluskin, and of course, the Wall Rider and the Naked Twins, who just let it hang, and honestly, I fuck with it, boys, let them breathe. But for how iconic the Outlast franchise is, it's a surprise that it's not made its way into Dead by Daylight yet, considering how Springtrap is even in the game, even though he's only 2 years younger than good old Chris. But anyways, with Dead by Daylight's 10-year anniversary coming up, they have a huge roadmap full of surprises, and of course, a lot of licensed collaborations. Now, I know the big question on everyone's mind is who the killer for the 10-year anniversary is going to be. Is it finally going to be Jason? Or maybe with the new licensing situation with Welcome to Derry, we might finally see Pennywise. Or maybe, bear with me here, we could finally see the iconic Outlast franchise. Now, personally, I really want to see those two iconic killers finally join Dead by Daylight. But I also really want the Outlast franchise to finally be in Dead by Daylight in some capacity. I still think the best way for Outlast to be properly integrated into Dead by Daylight would to be for a full chapter related to the first Outlast game that I talk about in my other video, as I still stand by all the points I made in that video, but with the 10-year anniversary of Dead by Daylight bringing a bunch of licensed collaborations, and for the fact that the party is literally happening right across the street from where the Outlast franchise is made, I think it would be a no-brainer for Behavior and Red Barrels to finally collaborate for the 10-year anniversary of Dead by Daylight to at least include a cosmetic collaboration in Dead by Daylight with the Outlast trials. Now look, don't get me wrong, as much as I would love to see the Prime assets as their own killer, I don't think Behavior is in the mood to design a different power for each of them. And plus, it would feel like a missed opportunity to only get one of the Prime assets as a killer when we could get all of them as legendary skins for pre-existing killers in Dead by Daylight, so they will get unique models, voice lines, and a Mori to give them that prim and proper Prime asset feel. So with that being said, let's go over all of the skins that I would imagine would come to Dead by Daylight with a collaboration with the Outlast trials. If you guys have any ideas that I didn't think about, or different characters for the ones that I've chosen, please leave them down in the comments, as I would absolutely love to hear your ideas. But starting with our first killer to receive a legendary cosmetic, we have the Doctor. And I think we're all thinking the same thing here, but of course, a legendary Sergeant Leland Coil skin would go perfectly with the Doctor, as they both use electricity, are sadistic, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities to believe that the entity has upgraded Coil's electric abilities, considering how many times he likes to ride the lightning. Now, this next one is a little bit of a stretch, but I really want you guys to hear me out. For the next killer to receive a legendary cosmetic, we have the Houndmaster, where we could potentially see her getting a Mother Gooseberry legendary skin, where Snug is replaced by a living Futterman dog creature hybrid, a morbid gift from the entity to replace her father that she once lost. And I can't help but think about the amazing potential voice lines of Mother Gooseberry and Dr. Futterman going back and forth between each other during a Dead by Daylight match is something that I personally really fucking need. But moving on to our next killer to potentially receive a legendary skin, we have the Deathslinger, as we could potentially see a legendary Franco Barbie skin, considering that stupid fucking Lupara doesn't have any real ammo anyways. Plus, with the entity's gifts being able to break logic, I could see a little spear coming out of that little Lupara, and that is not the only little fucking thing that is associated with Franco, because fuck him, if he ever gets put in Dead by Daylight, I'm running his ass around for 5 gens, no questions asked. Now, this next legendary concept is something that I need more than anything. Like, Behavior, I will give you my fucking life. As someone who is a Prestige 69 Clown, please consider the idea of Clown receiving his very own legendary Otto and Aurora skin. Now, I know what you're thinking, shouldn't the twins get the twin skin? I mean, yeah, but shit gets messy when Victor gets involved. Plus, I mean, Aurora literally throws vials of poison, and Otto is a fella who's a little bit on the bigger side, so their character and the Clown just mash together so well. Plus, the idea of playing the Clown and hearing Otto and Aurora talk to each other, fuck, that's just something that would make me a permanent Clown main. Don't ask, okay? But before we move on to our next cosmetic, please just think about how much that idea works, okay? Because I really want Clown to get that Otto and Aurora skin. Do you need time to think about it, or oh, you thought about it and you think it's the greatest idea ever? Perfect. Moving on to our next killer that could potentially see a legendary outfit, we have the Unknown, or, well, maybe the Nurse, as either one of them could get a potential legendary outfit to turn them into Lilia. Now, for the Unknown, it makes a lot of sense, as the Unknown has fake versions of himself all around the map that he can teleport to, very similar to Lilia's power in the Outlast trials. But then, the power of the UVX would just make no fucking sense. So that's why I thought of the Nurse, as even though the power is just blinking, with Lilia's lore connection with God and the entity knowing that she believes she speaks with him, this could explain her ability to blink, thinking that she has been granted godlike status as an eternal blessing. Plus, the Nurse also has a lot of elegant skins, and Lilia is quite the elegant woman, who I want to make very clear I very much love, not hate. just because of where she was placed in the tier list, I love her character deeply. And yes, I am talking to you, one commenter in specific, you know who you are. But now that we have covered all of the potential legendary cosmetics for the killers to turn them into the prime assets, let's dive into some other content we could potentially see in this collaboration just for the fun of it. So moving on to the survivors, I would love to see all original survivors get skins that put them into reagent gear. So give them the night vision goggles, Aesops, and dirty their clothes, give Dwight another black eye, and they'll be good to go. But even though I've been talking about legendary skins this whole video, I think if Dead by Daylight were to collaborate with the Outlast Trials and at least add a brand new survivor, it would of course be Amelia, the only reagent to ever step up to Murkoff and lead a successful escape from the Sinyala facility. And of course, Amelia would come with 3 unique teachable perks that highlight her extreme skills with gadgets, tools, abilities, and her extreme resilience. But moving on to some hopeful thinking, if we were to see a map at all, I would absolutely love to see the entity's take on the Sinyala facility, having a combination of different assets used for the different trial environments to construct a Dead by Daylight-esque map. So imagine if Easterman got really high on some drugs, played a match of Dead by Daylight, and said, "Fuck yeah dude, I'm designing the next trial environment to match the hellscape of the Garden of Joy." And unlike a lot of relationships, this doesn't have to be one-sided, because it would be totally cool to see them flip the script and have some Dead by Daylight stuff come into the Outlast Trials. Now don't worry, I'm not huffing paint. I don't want people playing as the Trapper downtown with Franco while he's playing with himself, but I think it would be cool to see a limited time Dead by Daylight catalog giving us Dead by Daylight themed cosmetics for our reagents and sleep room, alongside a secondary objective themed around Dead by Daylight that isn't fucking generators, since they're already in the Outlast Trials. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video and my speculation on what we could receive if Dead by Daylight ever collaborated with the Outlast Trials. And even though it might not be that likely, and I could be totally huffing copium, but Behavior's post regarding the 10-year anniversary, the way that word trials looked at me, I couldn't help but think it was a hint. And before you comment saying, Dead by Daylight matches are referred to as trials in the game, dude, I chutted out on Dead by Daylight for 9 fucking years. I know. Just copium tastes so good. Anyways, Behavior! Please give Chucky a Phantom of the Opera skin. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.